What is up, everybody? Welcome to AK Plays. I'm AK. Let's play. Alright, everybody. So today in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to counter striker builds. Obviously, if you're a veteran player, you're probably already going to have an idea on how to do this, but who knows, maybe I give you a tip that you haven't thought of before. Now, I'm not doing this because I think striker's overpowered. I'm doing this because a lot of people in the community, whether it's the big YouTubers or whether it's just people that you play against, I even had a couple people on my team that were talking about this with me, they're saying that striker is very strong, overpowered, too much, too difficult to fight, no other build can compete, and I very much disagree. As someone who uses basically every build under the sun, I think that any build can be viable within reason. Sorry, Sentry's call. But I think that no matter what, you can try to counter these builds, especially striker. As someone who uses it a lot, I understand what beats it and what makes me frustrated, and so I'm going to try to convey that knowledge to you. Now, first thing to use, everybody knows it, is Disruptor. Now, Disruptor is good temporarily. I don't love it, and I think that it's a high risk with a very low reward. Your high risk is you're giving up a skill that could be something very helpful to have a disruptor that comes back, if you're a normal build, very slowly. And all the striker has to do is wait a few seconds for it to go away, especially if they have this disrupt resistance like most good strikers will. And I don't think disruptor is a very fair counter. I just don't think that, I think when people say that, it's a cop-out. I don't think disruptor is good for this. If you do sacrifice your build and run a tactician with skill haste and skill power to get back your disruptor every 9 seconds or so, that will be effective. You'll be able to shut down strikers. However, then you won't have the DPS or the stamina to be able to deal with them, and they might be able to kill you without stacks. So I don't think that that's a good counter at all. I think that your much better counter would be number 2. Number 2 is strafing. Now, I'm not talking about the crazy mouse and keyboard looking floating in the air strafing. I'm talking about a very moderate strafe. You want the person to be able to say, okay, I can get this guy, let me shoot some, and you want them to shoot, miss their shots, and lose stacks. Because a striker without stacks is not a very strong build. And what you don't want to do is face tank a striker. If you face tank a striker, you're going to lose, more than likely. Now, so what you're going to do is you're going to strafe in front of them, get them to shoot, lose stacks, and then when they're either reloading or when they're kind of low-key giving up, you want to quick shoot them with a burst of damage, and then as soon as they try to shoot you again, strafe. And I know it seems kind of not very tough sounding strategy, but it's okay. You're trying to win the game here, and their build makes you have to do this, unfortunately. I hate when people do this, but that's because it's a good strategy. So what you do is you strafe, make them lose stacks, quickly turn and burst them with some damage, strafe again. You might want to even get some grenades involved, so at the end of your strafe you throw a nade and then shoot them while they're staggered and then strafe again. So that, I think, is a slow method. It takes a while, but it will eventually beat strikers. It's just a good strategy. But number 3 is the one that's a little more fun and it's much faster. This one is going to be a fast counter to striker, but it's a very high risk, high reward type deal. This one is out DPSing them. And this is not easy to do if they have 100 stacks. I don't think you even can do it at 100 stacks. But if you walk on them with moderate stacks, or if they have no stacks, or if you strafe on them until they have no stacks and then do this, you'll win. You have to out DPS them. And that means that you're using a Banshee, a Lone Star, a high firearms Alpha Bridge, maybe a 10k firearms Nomad, but one of these builds that does a ton of damage. And if you hit your shots really well and you can make sure that they don't have the stacks to beat you, you can quickly unload on them and hit them so hard that they can't build stacks fast enough and kill them. Now, this usually happens with Banshees because Banshees hit very, very hard, and they're a common build that a lot of people can run. So I would say that your options, to summarize, are number 1, using a disruptor, which I'm not a big fan of. Number 2, which is strafing. I think that that's good no matter what you're trying to do. I think that strafing to get their stacks off is a great idea. And number 3 is going to be out DPSing them, which is faster. It's a high risk, but it's a high reward. And lastly, as you can see in my summary, it's kind of frustrating because you're going to be dying by grenades, by NPCs. High firearms is a very difficult way to run your build, but if you do it, you might be able to counter strikers, and you might have a lot of fun because burning people down is quite exciting. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that those counters help you out, and if you think I missed something or if you're confused about something and have a question, put it in the comments.